But shoot me if you have any questions. Feel free to find me on Twitter, on social media, and we'll be here. We'll be here for the couple hours, and we'll definitely keep you posted on how things are looking here on the roads, guys.
All right, Phil, thank you. Stay safe out there. 8:05 the time right now. I'm sure a lot of people couldn't sleep last night because they want updates on the storm. Where is it going right now? We just got some breaking news into our news desk just a moment ago, and I'm going to have more on this as the show develops this morning. We're on for the rest of the day, basically, here at 10 News. But Hillsborough County, Zone A. Now, that's Zone A is now under a mandatory evacuation. So it's very easy to go to our website or the free 10 News app, WTSP.com. I'm totally off book here, but you can just go to our website. There's a list of all the evacuation zones. Zone A in Hillsborough County is now under a mandatory evacuation. That just coming down, and this all happening as a result of what happened while you were sleeping or not sleeping up, trying to figure out where this storm is going. Basically, as the storm has trended west over the past couple of days, the officials with Hillsborough County and city leaders finally making that decision. So it is official. Zone A now under a mandatory evacuation. Let's get a look at that storm and where it is going right now. Grant, what's going on?
Yeah, Rob, with that westerly shift, we're seeing that growing concern for storm surge now. So that's going to be something that we will be monitoring very closely over the next 36 hours, really up until we get out of the storm. Into, I'd say, midday Monday is when we can really start to relax a bit. Okay, Irma, it's weekend. 8 o'clock advisory just came down moments ago. We won't get a new track until 11 o'clock. So the Hurricane Center will hold off on a new track, but the latest specs show that it's weakening. So a couple of things here with that. Storm is weakening over northern Cuba. Cuba is pretty mountainous. If you've been there, you know what we're talking about. Not everywhere, but enough terrain, any sort of terrain, any sort of land is going to throw a wrench into a hurricane. Hurricanes thrive off of the warm ocean waters. But with the center over just enough, I mean, it's not much, but just enough of the land there, it's throwing a wrench into it, weakening down to 130 mile per hour winds. If you watched last night at 11 o'clock with meteorologist Bobby Deskins, the storm was back up to a Category 5 hurricane with winds of 160 miles per hour. So winds have come down by 30 miles per hour since last night. That's not that big of a drop, okay? We need it to be much less than that to start to really ease our concerns as we head into the next couple of days. It's still a potentially catastrophic Category 4 hurricane. It's moving due west right now, okay? So it's moving due west. So that means it will continue to move over Cuba over the next, I'd say, probably 12 hours or so. 8 o'clock right now, yeah. So later on, 8 o'clock this evening, I think is when we begin to see that turn to the north. So we may see some additional weakening as we make our way over to probably the next 12 hours or so. But impacts already beginning to be felt along the Florida Keys. Wind gusts up in Miami, not reporting any wind gusts right now. Typically you get those wind gusts in the bands of the hurricane. So if there's not a band over Miami right now, they're not getting a gust, but they did have wind gusts between 40 and 50 miles per hour just about 30 minutes ago. Marathon last reported a wind gust of 33, Key West reporting wind gust around 31. Obviously, they're going to see much stronger winds than that as the storm moves their way. Here is the track, so we'll see that westerly track continue, turn to the north as we go into the overnight, and then it's going to be through midday tomorrow when we see Florida beginning in the Keys and then potentially somewhere near Fort Myers. That's how it looks right now, but with the weakening, and that wasn't so forecasted, so we'll see how we can look at the forecast models. The Hurricane Center is going to really eat through that data. But it looks like it's in the Fort Myers area right now. So that turns to the north. We likely see the hurricane working through the worst part of the storm in the Tampa area, probably into early Monday morning. I'm thinking between 2 o'clock and around 5 o'clock Monday morning is when we'll see the strongest winds, potentially as high as Category 3 strength, okay? So it's going to be a rough night into Monday morning. But then it quickly moves out. By Tuesday morning, it's already in Georgia, moving into Alabama, and then up into the Tennessee and Mississippi Valley. So it quickly moves out into Monday. Here's the wind field with this storm. Even though the forecast cone doesn't extend all the way across the state, you better believe the hurricane force winds. Right now, hurricane force winds extend 150 miles across, and the storm's going to get bigger as it moves over land as we head through tomorrow evening. So the center there, the red, that indicates major hurricane strength. So that could be winds in excess of 111 miles per hour, if not stronger than that. We'll then see much of the area experiencing hurricane force winds, if not all of the area. There's your timestamp around 4 o'clock in the morning, but look how quickly it moves out. And then we'll see things gradually calming down by sunset Monday. This is what the radar and satellite may look like as we make our way over the next few days. There's the eye hitting Key West through tomorrow morning, and then hitting the Fort Myers area in southwestern Florida through lunchtime, or rather through tomorrow night, and then continuing to move to the north into the Bay Area as we head into early Monday morning. I want to point out these wind arrows here. These are going to be important for watching for that storm surge threat, okay? I'll point out why in a second, but find where you're located and when those arrows are going to be pointing in different directions, because that's going to ultimately be the driving force, quite literally, for that storm surge threat as we head through the overnight Sunday into Monday morning. Watch here, timestamp here. What you're looking at is wind speeds and then wind direction. Find where you are here. When those wind arrows are pointing in your direction, that's when we could see that concern for storm surge threat, all right? So Sunday at 12:30 in the morning, so this is going into the overnight, wind speeds are forecasted to be relatively low, so probably around tropical storm force. But as we make our way through Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, we'll begin to see those stronger winds begin to arrive. So we're approaching hurricane force as we head through Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening. Winds coming in out of the north. So that would be pushing the water out of the bay, away from our coast. So we don't begin to probably see that storm surge threat until after sunset overnight, probably not until after midnight into Monday morning. That's the eye right there. So that would be the potential eye. We'll see how, if it holds together or not, but if we're forecasting a strong Cat 2 moving through, it could definitely still be hanging on to an eye. Wind speeds sustained, 60, 70, maybe even 80 miles per hour. Look at your wind directions beginning to change. Sarasota has a southwesterly, or rather a northwesterly wind, so that would be driving wind toward some of the beaches there, down into Sarasota and Siesta Key. As we head through, now Lakeland, you're not going to be concerned about the surge, okay? So you're mainly concerned about the wind speeds. As we make our way through Monday morning, those wind speeds are going to be changing. Southwesterly wind, and this is the concern, and this is why we saw level A in Hillsborough County go for the mandatory evacuation, because we're going to be watching that southwesterly wind. Though the winds are going to be weakening as the storm exits to the north, they're still going to be pretty strong. And that wind driving the water out of the Gulf into the bay is what we're going to be watching, okay? So that's generally going to be the concern for us as we head through early Monday morning. Storm surge, 3 to 5 feet in Venice. We head up to Sarasota, we could see a 5 to 7 foot surge there, and we're going to be watching generally along here. That's going to be at 5 to 7, potentially as high as 9 feet. So we're watching it closely, guys. We'll keep you posted. Farther north, not as much. Crystal River, 5 to 7, maybe as high as 9 feet. But again, it's all dependent on that track. Unfortunately, until that storm turns north, we won't have a real good idea. We're pretty good right now. We think we've got it on lock, but we'll be much more confident once that turn goes to the north later on tonight.
The entire process was so simple.
I came in, got approved, and found my car right there on the spot.
Want a great deal on a car? Come to OK Cars.
Mess up your credit? At OK Cars, we understand. We finance in-house, and we are open right now, so call us.
Hey, bargain hunters looking for the best deal in kitchen cabinets? Then come to Bay City Cabinets and save thousands on closeout 100% all wood kitchen and bath cabinets. You can get a 10x10 kitchen starting as low as $1,200.
You'll find deals like these closeout base cabinets for only $150.
Or find these closeout wall cabinets for only $80.
And closeout pantries for only $200, some even with rollouts.
Pick out your cabinets and take them home today. Whatever you're looking for.
Probably not that.
A real meal for a real deal. Steak and Shake's original double and cheese steak burger and a side of fries for under $4. Or get one with bacon, guacamole, or a farm fresh egg. They're all under $4. That's a real meal for a real deal. Only at Steak and Shake.
Come into Steak and Shake for hand-dipped milkshakes. Better yet, come into Steak and Shake for hand-dipped fall milkshakes at half price during half-price happy hour. Weekdays now 2 to 5 at Steak and Shake.
I got a curb violation, B13 in pursuit.
Uh-oh. Honey, hurry.
Oh, pardon me, ma'am. Excuse me. Sorry. Excuse me, sir. Sir?
Hit the lift gate!
Pardon me. Pardon me. Excuse me. Excuse me, sir. Pardon me. Pardon me. Excuse me, ma'am.
Nice work.
The 2017 Toyota RAV4. Lease a new 2017 RAV4 XLE for just $209 a month for 36 months. Toyota, let's go places.
Nothing fits like a good pair of jeans. But did you know an old pair of jeans can change lives? When you donate to Goodwill, you create jobs in our community. So when you're done with last year's fashions, bring them to Goodwill and ask yourself, do these jeans make my heart look big? To learn more, visit goodwill-suncoast.org. Now when you donate to Goodwill, you'll get a coupon good for $10 off up to 4 tickets to the Florida Aquarium.
Attention retirees and pre-retirees in Tampa Bay. There's a new show right here on 10 News just for you. Tune in Sunday mornings at 11:30 for Retirement Talk with Sandy Morris. Sandy Morris is a certified estate planner and has educated thousands of retirees and pre-retirees in Tampa Bay.
The tip for this week is about traditional...
You've listened to her for years on WFLA radio. Now see her new show every Sunday morning at 11:30 right here on 10 News. Retirement Talk with Sandy Morris, Tampa Bay's retirement television.
Do your legs often ache, feel heavy, or get cramps? Do you have leg swelling, restless legs, or even bulging leg veins? Any one of these can be related to vein disease, which can lead to more difficult problems. At United Vein Centers, we treat vein disease using special medical lasers. Your treatment is covered by Medicare and most health insurance.
It was such a relief to finally feel like my legs were normal again.
Don't wait. Find out today with a free vein screening at one of our Tampa Bay locations. Visit UnitedVeinCenters.com.
You can get approved for the loan on the website, and they don't even check your credit.
They had so many cars to check out.
Trucks, cars, SUVs, Jeeps.
Mess up your credit at OK Cars. We understand. We finance in-house, and we're open right now, so call us.
Good morning to you. We are bringing you this special continuing coverage for one reason, Irma. You see these images of the massive hurricane on your screen right now. I know they are so horrifying. The eye of the storm moving over Cuba as I talk, and we are staring down Irma right here in Florida. So right now, at least 20 people are dead because of Irma. Several Caribbean islands completely devastated. And Irma hit Cuba overnight as a Category 5 with winds of 160 miles an hour. But it could be faster because CNN reported Irma's winds broke the instrument that measures wind speed in Cuba. Unbelievable, right? And I want you to see this scene outside of Villa Clara in Cuba. Trees being bent, heavy rains there, and this is just a sign of what is to come. People already sleeping outside of Germain Arena and Estero. That is close to Naples right here in our state. That arena is opening as a shelter in a few hours, but people showed up way in advance. So now I know that you are waking up right now wondering what is going on with Irma. You're seeing a different track on your phone and it's shifting west towards Us Grand. And when I saw that track this morning, I was horrified by that, but that is why we are here, to get you through this with us together.
Yeah, we started to see that shift to the west yesterday, and you know that was the potential that we were almost hoping that, you know, we were almost ignoring that potential because we just couldn't imagine it happening. But it is happening now, and we've continued to see that shift farther and farther to the west now, to the point to where it looks like we're going to see it hit down towards Fort Myers. That's how it looks right now. We'll show you the track. But you know, that means that we could see a potential major hurricane moving over the Tampa Bay area as we go through Sunday night into Monday morning. 8 o'clock advisory, these are the latest numbers. So it's weakened. Jackie just mentioned it hit Cuba last night with 160 mile per hour winds. That's a Cat 5. Down to 130 right now. It hits land and it weakens. It's still moving to the west at 12 miles per hour. So it's barely over land, but I think it begins to move a little more inland over the next 6 hours before it starts to indicate and it starts to make that curve back up to the north. It's moving at 12 miles per hour. Pressure now up to 937 millibars. Location, 225 miles to the south of Miami. There's Miami. There's our eye of the storm. Cat 4 moving inland. So outer bands already beginning to hit our state. So the impacts are already beginning to be felt in extreme South Florida into the Keys. Out ahead of it, we've got a lot of hurricane warnings, guys. A hurricane warning in effect for much of the Florida Peninsula. Watches extend all the way into southern Georgia. Tropical storm watches go into the South Carolina coast, and tropical storm watches extend into the panhandle of Florida. So everybody is getting a little nervous about Irma, and rightfully so, because this storm, as it hits Florida late Sunday night into Monday, it's going to grow. Immediately, though, the only county in our immediate viewing area is Citrus County. Hurricane watch, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Citrus County go into the hurricane warning probably in the 11 o'clock advisories, which will come down with the newest track, and then we'll also get some new information about if it has continued to weaken. The latest forecast track, though, that the Hurricane Center has released, and I think it's a good one at this point. I think we're on track. Unfortunately, though, it's a farther westerly track than what we were looking at just 24 hours ago. So if you were with us yesterday, we were talking about a hit somewhere down towards Marco Island, potentially a little bit farther to the east. Miami is now completely out of the cone. They are still going to see impacts, and that's so important to understand, that you will still see impacts if you are located outside of the cone. Here's where it tracks. It's going to go right up the Gulf Coast in southwest Florida, inland, and as it moves inland, it's going to be weakening. So it'll be weakening, but still, Category 3 hurricane right there, 120 miles per hour. I think that's the upper end of it, though. I think we could likely see sustained winds between 90 to 110 to 120. We could see some gusts higher than that as well, but I think 120 is the max. Again, it's going to be weakening. The farther and farther it moves north, those winds will be decreasing. The storm becomes much more disorganized. And then again, it becomes a tropical storm just as early as Tuesday morning and brings a lot of rainfall to the southeast. What you're looking at here is the width and the area that these wind speeds are going to be covered by Matthew. See how it grew as it started to weaken after it started to encounter the Florida Peninsula? Fort Myers, major hurricane, Cat 4, we'll see, because I think as it moves over the warmer waters south of Key West, it could strengthen again. So just because it's weakening now doesn't mean it's going to stay that way. It probably strengthens again as it tracks back to the north. So we'll likely begin to see those tropical storm force winds arriving as early as tonight into tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening is when it hits southern Florida, southwest Florida in the Fort Myers area. And then we'll see the worst of it moving through Tampa through 2, 3, 4 o'clock. That's Monday morning. So we're looking at hurricane force winds potentially stretching across the entire state before it all begins to clear out as we make our way into the second half of the day on Monday. Wind speeds, I just want to walk through this real quick. This is what I think the major threat is for most of us. Wind speeds really begin to increase with those hurricane force winds arriving as we head through Sunday night, Monday morning. We could see those wind gusts as high, like I said, around 110 to 120 miles per hour before it all begins to clear out. And then real quick, Jackie, I'm going to get to you in just a second, but I want to point out the surge. That's the newest threat. We could see Port Charlotte, 7 to 9 foot storm surge up towards Sarasota, 5 to 7 foot storm surge. We'll see. It depends on the exact track. And now into Hillsborough County, watching a 5 to 7 foot storm surge potentially along the coast, and maybe some places even as high as 9 feet. So watching the surge threat very closely.
Grant, it has been an emotional roller coaster tracking Irma for the past what feels like 2 weeks, right? Every day we're wondering, is it coming more towards us, east, west? And now we know it is definitely heading west towards us. And one of the big concerns we've seen all week, supplies. Where are we going to get food? We've seen so many shelves cleared out. But guess what? Jenny Dean, live at a 7-Eleven in Oldsmar, and she is in front of a line where they are giving out free water. Jenny, that is incredible. Free water today on Saturday.
Yeah, check this out. I mean, cars have been coming through here since about 7 o'clock this morning when they started handing out cases of water. They're giving about 2 cases per car, and they still have a bunch. So if you live near this area and you can get out here within about the next half an hour to 45 minutes, you may get that water that you haven't been able to get a hold of. Here's another point. They also have gas here. They have some mid-level grade gas. Some of their pumps are wrapped up, but others are open. So these are important items that you need. Here's the key, folks. You're at this point probably riding it out with the rest of us, and it's going to be okay. You're going to be prepared. You're going to have your supplies. You're going to hunker down in an inside room of your home, and you're going to be okay. We're all going to get through this together. And just think, you have a community of people around you that are doing things like this, handing out water, and they'll be there after the storm too. So the best thing we can all do right now is just calm down. Know that you've prepared the best you can, and know that everything's going to be okay. So again, they're giving out the free water here. It's the 7-Eleven on Tampa Road in Oldsmar. Now you can also find, I was out this morning and I was looking at some 24-hour places. A lot of stores are closing. So if you need to get to Publix, anything you might need, now they have been restocking, so there might be some things you didn't find the other day. They close at 8 o'clock tonight, and they're going to be closed until the storm passes by. I know a lot of racetrack gas stations are closing at noon, so if you need that gas, start driving around and trying to find it. Also, Walmart on Gandy Boulevard, the 24-hour Walmart, it was closed. Walgreens, CVS, they tend to have a lot of supplies because you weren't thinking of them before maybe, so stop in there. A lot of the Walgreens stores, though, when I went there this morning, they said they are closing up at 4 p.m. today. A lot of these businesses have to allow their employees to go home and prepare for the storm as well and get their families ready. Again, we don't have.
All right, I am on Facebook Live right now. I have been on Facebook Live with you guys since almost 4 o'clock this morning, and I've been taking your questions. We have hopefully been giving you some really good answers. So I want you guys to turn to us at any point. If you have a very specific question, whether that's about an evacuation zone, whether that's about if you need to go to a shelter at this point in time, we have your back. We have that information on our website, so that way you can speak to us one-on-one. I'm going to be on Facebook Live for quite some time. As long as we're on air, I will be on Facebook Live with you guys for Brightside. So make sure if you have any questions, please turn to us on WTSP's Facebook page. I also want to read you some things that we have been learning throughout this newscast that I have been informing people on when it comes to our Facebook Live. Polk County, they have issued a mandatory evacuation for mobile homes as well as flood-prone areas. This is something that we just learned maybe 30 minutes ago. So for those that are in Polk County, take heed of this message. As well, something that we just learned maybe 10 minutes ago, Hillsborough County, Zone A, you are under a mandatory evacuation. Sarasota, same for you, Zone A, as well as mobile homes. So if you are in those counties, if you know people that are in those counties, please, please, please inform them of that. If you have questions now because that affects you, hop onto Facebook Live. I am breaking those things down for you guys. You are not left in the dark. We have your back. We have answers, and we'll take care of you guys. Rob.
All right, Courtney, 8:27 the time. We've been on Facebook Live here, this group that you're seeing on the air since midnight, overnight, every hour on the hour, keeping you updated. I think you're probably, like a lot of other people, and you're enjoying a cup of coffee at home trying to figure out what to do. I'm sure you're nervous. There's some anxious energy there. Here's the thing. 2 days ago, we thought this storm was going to be on the East Coast, heading up toward Miami and maybe heading out into the Atlantic that way, touching the Carolinas. 2 days later, it's slowly but surely made its way west. And this is something that I don't think any of us really thought would happen. It was in that cone that Grant, Ashley, and Bobby have told us so much about, and now it's finally done that. It's making its way toward Tampa Bay. That has become a reality, a Category 3, and we can say that with some sureness this morning. So as that storm approaches the Tampa Bay area, we want to make sure that you have all of the information that you need to stay safe as this storm barrels down on the Tampa Bay area. The last flights out of Tampa International Airport will happen at 8 o'clock tonight. My wife just arrived at the airport. She's got a flight out of here this morning, so I was happy about that because we're, Jackie, going to be spending a lot of time here for the next 3-4 days. There are mandatory evacuations for Zone A in Hernando, Hillsborough, Pasco, Pinellas, and Sarasota counties. There's also a mandatory evacuation order for mobile homes in Pinellas, Hernando, Pasco, and Sarasota counties. We have a full list of all the evacuations on our website, WTSP.com, and our free 10 News app. Heed the advice of our governor. 2 days ago, he said, if you are under evacuation, leave that county. It couldn't be more black and white than that. And if and when you do lose power, if you're in one of those counties or this affected area, you're probably going to lose power. Could happen tonight, could happen tomorrow. You can still get updates on Irma's path and when it will affect your area on the radio. You can listen to us on Magic 94.9, 105.5, The Dove, 107.3, The Eagle, WSRQ, the voice of Sarasota and Manatee on 98.3 FM, 106.9 FM, and 1220 AM. Let's send it over to Grant.
Rob, can I just say how happy I am that we're doing that? that we're going to have all of our radio partners simulcasting and broadcasting our forecast, our coverage of Irma, because without a doubt we will lose power. And it's going to be important that you're still getting information. And I really want to make sure that, you know, we've got that information up there on our websites of where you can listen to it. So get those radios tuned into those radio stations, because once the lights go out, it's going to be dark and you're not going to want to be fiddling around trying to find that radio station. And you got to keep up to date with what's happening, because things will continue to change as the storm rolls through, and you have to know what's going on, and that's going to help keep you calm. And that's the most important thing, is that you stay calm through this storm. Okay, here's Irma. This is Cuba. This is what Irma looks like as the sun rose over the tropics this morning. And you can see a lot of contrast there between those thunderstorms at the center of the storm, and we've got some more thunderstorms up into the Bahamas as well. So light is on Irma this morning, and the focus is on Irma as well. Irma hit Cuba earlier on, really overnight. It was overnight, right around 2 o'clock in the morning, hit as a Category 5 hurricane with wind speeds of 160 miles per hour. Winds have now dropped down to 130, so it's weakening over Cuba right now. It's roughly 225 miles south of Miami right now. It's not going toward Miami, but Miami has already begun to feel the impact. Some of those initial outer bands, wind gusts have been between 40 to 50 miles per hour. Key West, Marathon Key have seen a few of those outer bands getting the gust. And that's the thing, and I want you to know that. As we see some of those bands begin to arrive, it's within those bands that we will find the stronger wind gusts. The other satellite, this is our infrared satellite, so we're able to tell how tall those clouds are. Those reds, those darker hues, those are taller thunderstorms within the center of the storm. It's moving to the west now at 12 miles per hour. Wind speeds at 130 miles per hour. This is the latest track. So the latest advisory came out at 8 o'clock. So that's the latest information of where it is and how strong the winds are. We won't get a new track from the Hurricane Center until 11 o'clock this morning. So a few more hours to go until we get the latest track, and we'll see how the Hurricane Center thinks it's going to play out after it's had this interaction with Cuba. Turn to the north begins to occur as we head through tonight. So I'll tell you, I'll feel a lot more confident about this track once we start to see the storm turn to the north. But as it stands right now, it looks like we see Fort Myers, southwest Florida, see impact as we head through tomorrow. So this is going to be through midday tomorrow, and then we will begin to see the worst of the conditions arrive here in the Tampa area overnight Sunday into early Monday morning. Forecast to have wind speeds around 120 miles per hour. That's not going to be widespread. I think that's on the upper end of the maximum of what we could see. I think more on the order of 90 to 110, maybe 115, which is still pretty darn high. That's pretty high, and that's why we got to be prepared. That's why you're watching right now. You got to know what to expect. You got to know what's coming your way. The storm's going to continue to track up to the north. All right, so I want to bring in meteorologist Ashley Beatty right now. Ashley, that's the latest track. So we've seen that shift to the west, Ashley. So we're talking about the models and how the models have shifted to the west. Tell me more about what we're seeing this morning.
All right, so continuing with that western movement, and as long as we see that, that's the highest threat for Tampa Bay. The farther this moves west, the bigger the potential for direct impacts from Irma, but most importantly, the storm surge threat goes up, and that possibility still exists within this cone of uncertainty right here. So what this cone does not mean is that this storm is just going to slide right up the state, and only areas that are inside of this are going to feel the impacts from this. All of the state of Florida, more or less, is going to see hurricane force winds with this storm. Now, depending on when exactly it starts to make that turn toward the north, it's at that point, then we're much more prepared to say, you know what, the landfall is going to be here, the biggest impacts are going to be here. Until then, it's a little bit of a wait and see game. But what we will see is this moving away from Cuba and likely re-strengthening into a Category 4 storm with winds at 150 miles per hour once again. That's what we would likely see as this storm potentially made landfall around the Fort Myers area. That's the most likely situation coming up right now. Let's go ahead and show you those spaghetti models. All of those have now come in line with a shift toward the west, a continuation of a northwestern movement there, and then pretty much instead of moving right up the spine of the state, right up the middle, they're going to come a little bit farther to the west. And when we're talking about a state that's only 160 miles wide and a storm that's 500 miles wide, that means significant impacts for everyone. But everyone's very specific impacts are going to change depending on the track of this storm. But across the board, what we are looking at is significant wind damage around the Bay Area if these models pan out. And they're all very closely agreeing here, except for this one outlier, which we can pretty much ignore at this point. However, a couple of these are a much more dangerous situation for the Tampa Bay area, and that includes the couple of them that do pull this a little bit farther west into the Gulf of Mexico. That's when we increase our storm surge threat. As it stands, this particular track looks like, once again, it is going to be a significant wind event for the Tampa Bay area, with the eye likely coming on shore near Fort Myers, near Sarasota, then moving just east of the Gulf of Mexico. And again, we're talking about a difference of 20 or 30 miles. So we have to continue to monitor this one very, very carefully in regards to that storm surge threat. But areas to the south could definitely start talking about 7 to 9 feet in some areas of maybe southern Sarasota County. And then with this particular track, that would ease up a little bit as we continue to move further to the north. But that is still on the table for the Tampa Bay area. Want to talk about the wind threat? This is Jose. We can quickly say, hey, this is going to be going out into the Atlantic. That's not a threat for us. But it is almost a guarantee at this point that we are going to see tropical storm force winds. Look at this, 98% for Tampa. It's basically a given. And then on top of that, we see that moving completely up the state of Florida. So we are preparing you for a significant wind event. In the likely event that the power goes out, of course, have batteries charged, have flashlights ready to go. And Grant, you'll really just want to keep sticking with us on Facebook. You can ask us questions there. We want you to be prepared ahead of this storm. And the good news is you do have a little bit of time on your side, but those preps really need to be finished up in the next few hours. You need to know where you're going to go to ride out this storm. If you're going to evacuate, you really need to get that in gear now. And if you're going to ride this one out, you just need to keep getting that information with what those particular threats might be for your particular area.
That's right, Ashley. Yeah, and more updates will continue to come out throughout the day. And the next advisory with the Hurricane Center will be at 11 o'clock. But as it stands right now, 130-mile-per-hour winds, a medium-level Category 4 storm, with the center moving just over the northern coast of Cuba this morning. Jackie, I want to send it over to you. I believe we have a couple of people on the phone that we want to get to.
We really do, Grant. Polk County just issued a mandatory evacuation for mobile homes and flood-prone zones. Mayanne Nelson with the Board of County Commissioners is on the phone with us right now. Good morning.
Good morning.
So thank you for joining us right now, and I wanted to know what went into making this decision.
Well, as we've been watching overnight, we didn't see too much of a change in pattern that was going to indicate that we shouldn't send out a notice to change our voluntary evacuation to a mandatory evacuation. We're very concerned about, as the coastal counties are saying, storm surge, how that backs up into a lot of our creeks and rivers, and the rain that we're anticipating, flooding some areas that are very much prone to flooding in historic events like this. And then, of course, the winds that we're expecting doing damage to people's mobile and manufactured homes. So we really feel it's a time to move into a shelter and be safe.
Mayanne, I know Polk County really prone to this kind of flooding, so let me ask you this. You issued this mandatory evacuation, so what time do you want people out?
We'd like people out today. I know that the storm people are going to watch and say, oh, it's still nice out, it's just a little windy, it just looks like a rainstorm today. But if people can get to shelters early, that's all the better for them.
What time today are you talking about?
Anytime. The shelters are open now. We're actually watching our shelters fill up with people who have evacuated counties south of here and are coming to our shelters from Charlotte, from the Fort Lauderdale area. Those folks have moved up into Polk County, and they're entering our shelters now. We want to make sure we still have room for Polk County people in our shelters, too. So we urge them to come early.
Okay, so you're saying some shelters are still open. They're wide open, Mayanne. Is that what you're saying?
Shelters are wide open, and you can go to our website. You can go to our Facebook pages. The list of shelters that are open are on those pages, and we encourage you to check with the shelter first to make sure the local one is open, and then head there when you feel like it's time to be ready.
So Mayan, let me ask you this question about shelters, specifically Polk County shelters. You know, they were in the headlines a few days ago when the Polk County Sheriff said certain people would be turned away, people with criminal records, sexual offenders. So what do you have to say about that?
We are all supportive. The board is supportive of the sheriff who is trying to keep people in the shelter safe.
Mm-hmm.
If I would take small children to a shelter, I would want to know that the person next to me is not someone with a long history of sexual offenses. So we'd rather err on the side of caution.
Okay, so that rule is in place.
Yes, it is. At all of our shelters, there is a deputy from the sheriff's office who will be checking photo IDs of people coming in to make sure that the folks that are coming in are people that are going to keep our residents safe.
So Mayan, for the people watching right now in Polk County who are listening to this, knowing it's a mandatory evacuation, but choose to stay, what do you have to say to them?
Then make sure you have your kit and be ready for being on your own for a few days. Okay. It's the things to make sure that they do bring everything in from your yard, from your lawn, your furniture. Bring your pets in. Please don't leave pets chained up outside and then take off and expect to be gone for 2 or 3 days. Bring the pets inside as well. Make sure that you've checked your windows to have everything closed up, airtight as much as you can, and have your water, have your emergency kit as far as your medications are prepared to get you through 2 or 3 days, and then hunker down and be safe.
And Mayan, isn't it true if a mandatory evacuation is issued and people do not heed that evacuation, that help will not come for them?
If we get into an extreme situation, we are required to pull our high-profile vehicles like fire trucks or ambulances off the roads when the winds get too strong. Mm-hmm. Now, what we are doing is putting some of our EMS staff into sheriff's deputies' cars. Okay. But at some point, if the water's coming up, they are not going to come into areas that are flooding to try and rescue people. Then yes, you do take that chance.
You do take that chance. You take that risk if you're not listening to what you guys are putting out there. So Mayan, before we wrap this up, last thing you want to say to folks who are in Polk County watching and listening right now?
Just be safe and be smart. And if you are heading to our shelter, in addition to packing your backpack to take with you, your blankets, your pillows, change of clothes, the medications, the snacks, take your patients, because we do expect them to be filling up rapidly this morning.
Man, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us and get everything clear.
Thank you very much. We appreciate the opportunity to talk with you.
So let's talk about Hurricane Irma, because that's what we're talking about all morning long, right? It's not here just yet. We are expecting it to come tomorrow night. We could start seeing the effects as soon as tonight. And 10 News reporter Phil Buck is out on the road talking with people who have decided to leave. So Phil, I know you're seeing a lot of people on the road, but not a lot of traffic.
Well, traffic has started to pick up as we've gotten into the daylight hours, Jackie, but I have to say, one person who we know for a fact is not leaving, is staying, is Sergeant Steve Gaskins. He's with the Florida Highway Patrol. He came and found us here at the rest stop. We really appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
We know you guys are busy, and we know you need to get information out to people. What exactly are you trying to tell everybody that's hitting the road today?
Well, again, 1,700 plus troopers out across the entire state of Florida trying to be out there to render assistance when needed, keep the traffic flowing. At this point, I'm actually very proud of my Florida drivers right now, because a lot of traffic's moving northbound, trying to get out of the path of the storm, but we're actually running really, really good. Very few crashes, actually. Just make sure that you don't overdo yourself. Avoid drowsy driving situations, avoid distracted driving situations right now. Don't be watching that weather app while you're driving, okay? Break up the trips, make sure you got plenty of fuel and food for your family, and pay attention to those evacuation routes, and mind what the EOCs are telling you. If you need to evacuate, move now.
As far as the bridges go, we heard you talk about those earlier this morning with Hillary Zala. I mean, tell us again, because so many people are wondering about when it's safe to cross those bridges, and when should they think about trying to find alternative routes, and what should they be, tell me about that.
Well, as we saw 5 years ago with Tropical Storm Debbie, we had problems with our bridges. Okay, the Skyway Bridge, there is a numerical value assigned to it, 40 miles an hour, sustained winds. We will shut that bridge down. The other bridges, the Howard Franklin, Gandy, Courtney Campbell, those bridges are a line of sight type issue in which if an officer, a trooper, an FDOT person sees that there's a problem with the bridge like we had 5 years ago where the waves were crashing over the Howard Franklin, a decision then will be made to close the bridges. Okay, again, as the storm gets closer and closer, as we start seeing those tidal surges, the higher winds pick up, you really need to start thinking about either, if you haven't moved now, sheltering in place to get off the roads. If you don't need to be on the roads, stay off right now.
One thing you and I were just talking about as well was things that drivers should be concerned about before versus after the storm, because you have very different conditions on the roads after the storm comes through. So if maybe you're trapped on the roads or you need to find shelter when the storm comes through, afterward, what are some of the things that they're going to have to be looking for that weren't there before the storm?
Well, typically a storm like this, we're going to have power outages. You're going to have down power lines, okay? If you see a down power line, treat it though it's hot. If you see a line like that, don't go anywhere near it. Stay away from the water that if it's laying in, stay away, period, okay? We had a lot of problems back at Hurricane Wilma, for example, where young boys were out playing in some water after the storm and were electrocuted, same situation. So stay away from the power lines. If you see water, you don't know how deep it is. You don't know if it's hurt the road, damaged the roadway. So roadways can actually wash out very rapidly. So if you see heavy amounts of water on the road and you don't know how deep it is, don't try to cross it. Turn around, don't drown. That's been our slogan for years and years, because small amounts of water can actually wash your car off the road.
Anything else? I'm going to let you go. I know you got places to be, man.
Again, just reminders, make sure you're still wearing your seatbelts, all the safe driving tips that we've always talked about, and distracted driving. Watch the weather apps, watch the traffic apps so you know where to go and how to get out of here, but not while you're driving. Use a passenger to check those apps for you or pull over to check before you start doing that while you're driving.
Always good information.
Yes,
follow this guy as well. He's a good follow on Twitter. Sergeant Steve Gaskins, Florida Highway Patrol. Stay safe out there, my man.
Sir. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Back to you guys.
Good stuff, Phil, and thank you to Steve. He was live with us in the 7 o'clock hour, and he's back with us right now, so we really appreciate that, giving us really good information about the roads today. So many of you are wondering exactly what the conditions are right now if you have to evacuate and get out of town. So far, they're pretty good. We really don't have any delays. You heard Steve say there that today it has been pretty quiet, and that's what I'm seeing across the Bay Area now. So we don't have this bumper-to-bumper evacuation traffic today, or at least right now. That's not to say that it might not happen later this afternoon as we get more evacuation zones out there. So let's talk about the Sunshine Skyway Bridge. Right now, a high wind advisory. But that means that when it gets to 40 miles per hour or sustained, which will most likely happen later this evening, this bridge will shut down. So just plan on this bridge being closed later this afternoon. Just plan on it. So depending on what side of the bridge you want to be on, already be there by, I don't know, what did you say, Grant? By maybe like 3 or 4? Yeah. I'd wrap it up by supper time. Wrap it up by supper time. So either be on the Manatee or the Pinellas side. Now, our bridges in between Pinellas and Hillsborough. You heard Sergeant Steve Gaskins say that these bridges are a lot different. So I want to break this down for you a little more just to maybe give you some solace in all of this, because these bridges don't close as often as the Skyway. In fact, they haven't closed from weather in 5 years since Hurricane Debbie. Most likely they will close for this storm. I mean, this is an unprecedented storm. So the only time that they will close is if FHP visually sees that they are unsafe for drivers, and most likely that is not going to be so much the wind, but the waves going onto the bridges. You know, we've seen waves in the past go onto the Courtney Campbell and it hasn't closed. Once they feel like that's just not safe for you, they will shut them down. Right now they're open, guys. So we will stay on top of that for you. You should be good to go today and even into tomorrow on these bridges. But again, I will make sure that I am on top of that. Make sure you have our app, WTSP 10 News, so you get those push alerts when those bridges close. Let's talk about Polk County. In Lakeland, of course, there's the mandatory evacuation for everyone in mobile home parks and in the flood-prone areas. And so you might be wondering what your road conditions are like. You're in the green on Polk Parkway as well as I-4. I-4 into Orlando is still quiet as well if you're planning on heading east. You can see you're in the green, so no issues there. And that goes for the I-4 corridor between Hillsborough and Polk County as well. Only a minute delay, 1 minute, not too bad. Your drive time, 16 minutes. From 75 to Polk Parkway. That stretch, that's pretty typical. So if you use that, if you're trying to get out of maybe Hillsborough County to a safe home, maybe with a friend in Plant City or into Lakeland, you're good to go there. And look at Hillsborough County, guys. No delays on your interstates. The main evacuation route, which is I-75, is still in the green. This is good for us at this point, because if you're still trying to get to where you need to go, if you're still trying to evacuate north, or maybe you're just trying to get to a friend's house, it is not gridlock out there. It is actually the complete opposite. It is quiet. At least we have that going for us. So you have time still, a little bit of time, to get to where you need to be in terms of evacuations, and that goes for Pinellas County as well. Now, once we may start to be hearing about more evacuation zones being mandatory in Pinellas County, the road conditions might change just a little bit, but of course we will stay on top of that for you and let you know as soon as we know. And we're giving you a lot of information right now. I know this might be overwhelming, but that's because we want you to be safe during this major storm. You can find information like shelters and evacuation zones on our free app. Just search WTSP in the App Store. We're also going on Facebook Live every single hour. We're live on there now with the latest updates on Hurricane Irma.
Hillary, it's the bridges, the roads, that's the immediate concern with this. So we're going to be watching those bridges. Hillary's on top of it. She's going to be keeping a very close eye on the road conditions. And I got to talk about this because the winds, they're breezy outside right now. You may have noticed it. Maybe you stepped outside to look around, take the dog for a walk, or maybe you went for a run by yourself. Good for you. Get it in now. If you've got all your preparations done, feel good about it because you're prepared, you're ready to go. But the breeze, you'll notice the trees, the shrubbery, the bushes, and we'll flip back over to the downtown St. Pete cam as well. You'll notice the palms blowing a little bit. It's only a 20-mile-per-hour wind, guys. This is the beginning of that pressure gradient. The difference between the air mass that's over us right now and that deep area of low pressure, Hurricane Irma, it creates that difference in pressure, and that's where the wind comes from. So 22-mile-per-hour sustained wind right now in St. Pete. Hillary, you said 40 is the skyway?
40 miles per hour sustained, yep.
Okay, so when we get those sustained winds up at 40 miles per hour, that's when we're going to be looking at shutting down the Sunshine Skyway. Speaking of wind speeds, let's take you down to South Florida, Homestead, Key Largo. There's Marathon Key, Key West. Key West reporting a wind gust at the latest observation of 31 miles per hour. Miami International, 37-mile-per-hour wind gust. That's outside of that band that moved through. This is the outer band, the outer reaches of Hurricane Irma right now. We've seen wind gusts as high as 50 miles per hour already in Miami International and Homestead. So the wind gusts are strongest within those bands and, of course, strongest around the core of the hurricane. And the core of the hurricane right now moving right over north central Cuba. Wind speeds at 130 miles per hour. So this is the latest update. The 8 o'clock advisory came down about 50 minutes ago. 225 miles south of Miami now. The pressure is rising slightly, now up to 937 millibars. The storm's moving due west. We are waiting, maybe not waiting eagerly, but we're waiting for the turn to the north, because I'll tell you the reason we're waiting for it is because once it turns to the north, we'll have a better idea of where exactly the storm is going to hit. As we wait for it, though, hurricane warnings in effect for much of the Florida Peninsula. Citrus County, you're still underneath a hurricane watch. I'd expect for that to turn to a warning later on today, if not later on this morning. Here's the latest track. This is what you want to see. We'll get right to it. Likely hitting the Fort Myers area through tomorrow evening. So that is Sunday evening. It's Saturday now. I feel like we've been talking about this for a long time. You lose track of the days, right? So it's Saturday now. We're okay through the day today. We will begin to see those tropical storm force winds arrive later on this evening into the overnight. But tomorrow evening is when the center of the storm looks like it hits the Fort Myers area. It will then continue to track to the north. Let me get out of the way so you can see the wind speeds. This is through Monday morning. So I'm thinking 2, 3, 4 o'clock is when we see the core. Remember the core, the strongest part of the storm where we have those strongest winds? That's going to be moving through the Bay Area. Now, this time yesterday, the track was over here. So it has shifted to the west, and that means we will feel more of those conditions. That means stronger winds, and now we're starting to look at that threat for storm surge as well. Here's the good news, if we're going to try to find any good news in all this, and Lord knows we need good news at this point, is that the storm is going to be picking up forward speed. After it hits, it's going to be rapidly racing to the north. So after it moves through, it's going to move out pretty quickly. Here are our hurricane force winds with major hurricane force winds right in the area of Fort Myers through tomorrow evening. We're already feeling hurricane force winds as well. Not major hurricane force winds, but 74 miles per hour and stronger. That width of hurricane force winds is going to stretch across the entire state of Florida beginning tomorrow morning as it moves up from the south. And then as we head through Monday morning, we'll begin to see everything slowly calm down, rather quickly calm down as the storm picks up forward speed. Let's talk about surge. That's a new element to this storm that wasn't the initial concern going back a couple days ago because the center of the storm was farther to the east. All of Tampa Bay, everybody along the coast is now underneath a storm surge warning. That means that we will probably see some type of storm surge. It all depends on the direction of the wind. So if you have a northeasterly wind, it's going to draw water from northeast and push it against the coast. So the northeastern coast of Pinellas County, yeah, that's where we could see a little bit of storm surge. When it starts coming out of the north, it's going to draw it from the northern part of the bay down to the south. So maybe hitting South Tampa area, we'll watch that. But here's my concern. There's not a lot of water in the northern part of the bay to push in this direction. The concern comes from when we get that west and southwesterly wind driving the Gulf water into the mouth of the bay and then pushing it up toward the eastern part of the bay there into western Hillsborough County. So that's why we're looking at Apollo Beach and then farther north into the Tampa area for the possibility for some higher storm surge. So here are the numbers. Let's take you down south first. Venice, Sarasota, 3 to 5 feet up towards Sarasota, Bradenton area, Siesta Key, and farther north Longboat Key. And then potentially, I'm not overly concerned with Anna Maria Island, but it's there, 3 to 5 feet, potentially 5 to 7 feet. And then farther north, a lot of areas here that it's going to depend on exactly what direction that beach is facing. So notice up into the northern part, up into the deepest part of the bay is where we could see a lot of that water push with that southwesterly wind. So we could see on the order of 5 to 7, maybe even 9-foot storm surge there. So the evacuations for the level A has been ordered this morning. So, and that's why, because now we're growing for that storm surge threat farther to the north, up along the Nature Coast, up along Hernando Beach, 3 to 5 feet, and then potentially a little higher again as we push that water coming in. Later on, this is going to be through mid-morning on Monday, so I'm thinking 4 or 5 o'clock as the storm begins to pull out. The winds won't be as strong, but still we'll get that push of water coming in. So surge threat now added to the risks that we are going to be talking about. This is kind of your need to know graphic. This is where we're going to be looking at all of the threats. So damaging winds, tornadoes, possible, heavy rain, and storm surge. The damaging winds threat is going to peak Wednesday night into early Monday morning. Or did I say Wednesday? Sunday, sorry, yeah. Sunday night. So it's going to be late Sunday night into Monday morning where we could see hurricane force winds up to 120 miles per hour. So that could be the worst of it there, but as we head through mid-Monday morning, things will begin to relax a little bit. Tornado threat, so it's not large, dangerous tornadoes, not like what you see out over the Central Plains. Quick spin-up tornadoes are usually relatively weak, EF0s, EF1s, sometimes EF2s. We got to watch that threat, obviously, in addition to that straight damaging wind threat. Heavy rainfall, up to 8 inches of rain. 8 inches of rain can cause some flooding. So obviously, we'll have to watch for flooding across the entire area because we're looking at potentially up to 8, maybe even some places higher than that. And that storm surge threat is going to be greatest going into Sunday night. So really probably after midnight or so, and then through mid-Monday morning, we'll begin to see it taper off. But possible 5 to 9, the southwest Florida Gulf Coast, and then Tampa Bay, 5 to 7 feet. So we'll have to watch that. But again, down towards Sarasota, point south, I think 5 to 9 feet, and then 5 to 7 feet in the Tampa area. So that's the rough timeline for the worst of it. Here's your 7-day forecast. I'm just going to show you this because we got to have some hope, right? We got to get through this. We're going to find that light at the end of the tunnel. The worst of it, Sunday into Monday. It's still going to be breezy on Tuesday, real small chance of rain, and then as we head into the middle of next week, we get back into our normal pattern, which will be nice, won't it? It'll be nice to get it back into that normal pattern of scattered afternoon showers and thunderstorms. But guys, this is it right here. Hurricane Irma, monster storm, Category 4 hurricane with wind speeds at 130 miles per hour.
It is now coming up on 9 o'clock on your Saturday morning. We do have another update for you regarding evacuations, and quite frankly, we expect a lot more of these as the day goes on, so keep it here on 10 News. But Pinellas County, which land-wise, geographically, a very large county, but Zone B has now been placed under a mandatory evacuation, joining Zone A. And I've got a picture of the map up on our website, WTSP.com. It's got a full visual of the county. So Zone A would be basically all those bright red areas right on the water. Think about like where the Don Cesar is, for example. All the beaches. Those are classic examples of Zone A.
Coastal areas.
Zone B, you know what that is? That's right behind it. So if you're near the water, if you're a peekaboo, a couple blocks away from the water, check out this map. Chances are you fall under the Zone B classification. And you can find this full map, which is very user-friendly and easy to read. You can even type in your address and it'll go right to it. So Zone B is now under mandatory evacuation.
And as we have been on the air since 6 o'clock in the morning, we are hearing more counties issuing these mandatory evacuations. And the fact that this one out of Pinellas is a little bit more inland shows you how serious this is right now. And I just want to read you a tweet that the AP just tweeted out 1 minute ago, that weather forecasters say the eye of the powerful Hurricane Irma is likely to hit the Florida Keys. We already knew that. We have been expecting that for more than a week. Southwest Florida, and now they've added Tampa Bay to this